Okay, good evening, everybody. I am Stephanie Mize. For those of you that don't know me, thank you guys so much for hopping on. I'm glad that you're here. So when I was thinking about what I was actually going to speak about tonight, first of all, I just want to say for those of you that are just hopping on, I've been sick for a couple weeks now. So I don't know if you can tell, but I'm already out of breath. So if I start coughing or whatever, just bear with me. I will drink a ton of water and I might have to pause. So please forgive me in advance. But when I was thinking about what I wanted to talk about, what I wanted to share about tonight, I was thinking about, all the different things that I could talk about, but something that I've really been struggling with a lot lately is recruiting. I don't know if anybody else has had that struggle. If anybody else has been struggling with that, tell us in the chat. If you've been struggling with recruiting, that can be market partners or VIPs. And guess what? If you have been killing it at recruiting market partners or VIPs, tell us that also. Let us celebrate you. We would love to be able to celebrate you because that's a big deal as well. And if you're on the struggle bus, that's okay too, because that happens to us as well. So for those of you that are killing it, congratulations. For those of you that are struggling, it is okay. It happens. So for me, I have been on the struggle bus and I am going to be a little bit transparent with you guys tonight. I have been in a major rut for some time now, between life and just like diagnosis and illnesses and summer vacations and constant baseball, like literally all the things, including getting in my own way. I feel like I have struggled to recruit a single soul. I mean, literally, I've struggled to recruit. And I feel like, honestly, like I've struggled to even show up at all sometimes. And it kind of dawned on me that until I can start recruiting myself again, and stop getting in my own way, that I'm not going to be able to recruit anyone at all. And so last week, I really started looking at what I was doing, and honestly, more importantly, what I was not doing. And I'm going to tell you guys, it was really hard. It was hard to sit and look at like the things that I had not been doing, but it was necessary. It was necessary to take that step back and be like, okay, sister, like, what were you doing a few months ago? Or more importantly, like, what were you doing in the beginning that you haven't been doing? And so I really started digging back into personal development, and I started setting like small goals for myself. And they were small, achievable goals, something that I knew that I could check off my list come the end of the day. So you guys, I was not telling myself I'm going to reach out to 20 people about money, because honestly, I wasn't in a place to set myself up for failure. I wasn't telling myself I'm going to sign up X amount of VIPs or X amount of market partners, simply because I needed things that I could control. And frankly, I needed wins, even if they were small wins. And I knew that I could control digging into personal development. And I knew that I could control reaching out to a small number of people per day and just being kind to them, not even necessarily reaching out to people with the intention of talking to them about money. And so what I found is, literally after a few days of actually doing what I said I was going to do and celebrating those small wins, like I started feeling better, and I started feeling more motivated and more inspired to actually show up more in my business. And you guys, I've been doing this for more than 6 years, 6+ years. And I've had so many coaching calls over the last 6+ years where people ask me, how can I get my motivation back? What they can do to get their motivation back. And even though I always tell them the same thing, I always tell them the only way to get your motivation back literally is to get back into activity. The only way you're going to get your motivation back is to get back to work. I was not practicing what I preached. And so it's just like going to the gym. You guys, you're never motivated to go to the gym at first. I mean, if you are, you're a rare breed. There's a few of you out there. Amy, I see you smiling. But in the beginning, you're not motivated to go to the gym. But once you start going, and once you start having more energy and you start seeing results, then the motivation comes. And that, honestly, that's how Monate works. Sometimes you lose your motivation, and once you start doing the do and you start having results and you start having those conversations and you start helping people and you start making an impact, that motivation comes, and then you want to continue helping people and you want to continue making an impact. And so that's when it hit me that we always talk about finding our number one recruit, but the truth of it is the only way to find our number one recruit is to look in the mirror. And so I know you guys are like, oh my gosh, she's going to talk about finding our number one recruit. I'm going to get on the call tonight and she's going to give us this magic sauce. But the truth of it is, you guys, we are the secret sauce. It's really, you are your number one recruit. And I want you to seriously think about that. You are the number one person that you're ever going to recruit. And so here's the deal. You have to ask yourself every single day, would I recruit me? So based on the way that you showed up for your business today, would you want to recruit yourself as a market partner? And I've really been asking myself this question a lot lately, even before last week when I had this come to Jesus meeting. Like, would I want somebody just like me on my team? If my entire team did exactly what I did today to move my business forward, A, would I even have a team? And B, would I even have a business? And so I want you to really think about that and be 100% honest with yourself. And if the answer is no to even one of those questions, then that's okay. But that just means it's time for you to get to work, right? And I'd love for you guys to tell me in the chat, would you want to recruit yourself based on how you showed up for yourself in your business today? And it's okay, again, it's okay if the answer is no. This is a safe place. You can be 100% honest and 100% transparent. And while you guys are typing yes or no, I'm gonna take a pause and a breath and drink. Not even close. Yep. Yes. No. I love that. Yes. Thank you guys for being transparent and honest. Yep. Oh, I'm sorry you're sick. I totally feel that. Yep. No. And listen, like I said, there's no shame at all. There's no shame in answering no. But the shame is if you do answer no, the shame is in not making the change to fix it once you've identified it. For me personally, you guys, there have been many times in my business, especially in the last 3 months, that I would never, like literally never want to recruit someone in my business like me. But you know what? There's also been a lot of times that oftentimes that I have said, man, if only I could recruit 10 more Stephanies. And the fact of the matter is, like, we have to become the person that we want to recruit. And then we are going to attract those very people. And you know what, you guys, we can get on huddles every Monday and we can talk about the tips and the tools and the scripts on recruiting all day long. But first, you need to understand the most important person that you're ever going to recruit is you. And guess what? We don't just recruit ourselves once and then we're done. You have to recruit yourself every single day. You guys, it's just like whenever we bring on a new market partner. So think about that. Whenever we bring on a new market partner, we don't just sign them up and never talk to them again, right? Like, we lock arms with them, we show them the way, we check in with them, we support them, we love on them, we cheer them on, we celebrate them every chance we get. We're there for them every step of the way. And in that same way, we also need to recruit ourselves every single day. And so I want you to think about it like, when it comes to recruiting, the right person could literally be sitting right in front of us. I mean, it could be somebody that we talk to all the time, or somebody that we see, somebody that we cross paths with. Paths, is that right? Paths with. It could be somebody that we cross paths with. I don't feel like that's the right word. I don't feel like I'm saying it right, but y'all know what I'm saying. But it could be somebody that we see all the time that could be sitting right in front of us. But if we haven't done the work, if we're not doing the internal work, and we're not recruiting ourselves and we're not developing ourselves, then we won't even have the confidence to talk to that person. And guess what? We certainly will not have the posture that we need in order to come across to that person that they would ever even want to work with us. So how do we actually recruit ourselves? So I personally believe, and I've kind of figured this out over the last couple of weeks when I haven't, or months, I'm going to be transparent, not just the past couple of weeks when I've been sick, but really the past couple of months, is it really starts with belief. Because the fact of the matter is if we don't believe in ourselves and our ability, that lack of belief is going to stand in our way of taking action. Okay. So if we're not taking action, then guess what? We're never going to recruit anybody. And again, we're not going to have a business, because if we're not taking action, we're not talking to anybody, and we won't have a business. And so you guys know that our beliefs can make or break us. And so if you don't believe that you can actually do this, and you don't believe that you are worthy of success, then there is absolutely nothing that I can do. There's nothing that anyone else on this team can do to tell you that you can actually succeed. And you guys, there's not a trick or a tip or any magic words. There's nothing that I can give you or say to make you believe that you can actually do this. And so you not only have to find that belief in yourself, but you have to build on that belief, and you have to build on your connection to your team. You have to build on your connection to your goals, your connection to your dreams. And, it's when you think about your connection to your team and like being connected, we have these weekly huddles. That's an opportunity for you to be connected to your team. It's an opportunity for you to create a connection with your organization. And it's really, when you think about the belief in the company, when it comes to your belief, it has to be unshakable. You know what? People are going to tell you no often, probably more often than they're definitely going to tell you no more often than they tell you yes. They're going to tell you no. They're going to tell you they don't like your product. Not everybody's going to join your team. So we have to have that unshakable belief in ourselves, in our products, and our opportunity. And so that belief is extremely important in recruiting ourselves, but it also starts with mindset. And so it doesn't matter about the scripts that we have memorized. It doesn't matter how good we are at social media, our stories, our videos. If we are not working on our mindset, if our mindset sucks, I hate to tell you this, and you guys probably already know it, but so will our results. And so if we are just focused on making $1 instead of making an impact, you guys, it's going to show. People are going to see that, and they're going to see right through that. And so there are a ton of podcasts out there and trainings and books on mindset, and we're going to talk about that in a minute. I'm actually going to ask some people to share some in the chat in just a moment. But I wanted to share something really quickly, because something that works for me personally, when I start getting in my own way, the quickest way for me to get my mindset right is really to take the focus off of me and start putting it on other people. For me personally, I will wake up in the morning and I ask the Lord to place the people in my life that really need what I have to offer. And you guys, that could be Monate. It could be Monate. It might not be Monate. It might just be a kind word or a helping hand. It might, when I shift my mind from what can I get from them, how can I get them, is it a VIP or a market partner? When I shift my mind from that to how can I help them, there is such a sense of peace that comes over me. I no longer feel like I'm trying to bother anybody, or I try to feel like I'm harassing them. It really is about how can I solve their problem? How can I help them? How can I serve them? How can I impact them? And when I stop connecting with people with the intention of getting them as a VIP or a market partner, and start connecting with them with the intention to solve their problem or serve them and just be a good person, it really starts creating that intentional connection. And it just comes across as a genuine connection. And then everything else just flows naturally. And so once we start recruiting ourselves every single day, waking up, recruiting ourselves every single day, it really does give you the energy and the joy and the excitement to take that action, so that it doesn't feel like a chore. It doesn't feel like a harassment. It doesn't feel uncomfortable. And it does bring the joy back into what you were doing in the beginning, when you were excited and when you were passionate. And I'm speaking to me, because that's kind of in the place where I was. And I feel like the people that are waiting on you to find them will actually find you. And I also know, and if you've been in the company for a while, and like anything in life, there's ebbs and flows, right? And I feel like recruiting yourself, if you've been doing it for a while, like in the beginning, like you're on fire, right? It's ignorance on fire. You're so excited. You're talking to everybody. And then you get told no, and you get shot down a couple times. And so that's when you have to start again with the mindset and the personal development and the belief. And that's when you have to have that unshakable belief. And that's when the recruiting of yourself is going to be the hardest person that you're ever going to have to recruit. But it's also going to be the most important person that you will ever recruit. And so you have to do that continually, and you have to do it every single day. So I want you to do me a favor, and I will repeat it. So for those of you that are taking notes, just write this down for me. And I just want you to write this down. So based on the way that I showed up for my business today, would I recruit me as a market partner? And I'll repeat that. Based on the way I showed up for my business today, would I recruit me as a market partner? And so, you know what? You might work your business 2 days a week, 3 days a week, 5 days a week, 7 days a week. However many days a week that you work your business, only you know that. That's something that you have set, you predetermine, whatever. So at the end of the day, the days that you have set, ask yourself, based on the way that I showed up for my business today, would I recruit me as a market partner? And you guys, if the answer is yes, that's a win. And guess what? You should celebrate that. Celebrate those small wins. If the answer is no, that is okay. Do not beat yourself up, but make a plan and fix it for tomorrow. And tomorrow, take action. I have started really asking myself that, and I have started celebrating those small wins. And like even last week when I got back into the personal development, and when I say I started taking action, I was literally connecting with like 2 people each day, because I needed a small win, because I wasn't doing anything. And I needed something that I could celebrate. I needed a small win that I could celebrate. And then I got my 2 people, and the next day it was 2 more people. And then I upped it, the third day. And so it's okay to not be beating yourself up for reaching out to 50 people a day or 20 people a day. What we're supposed to be doing and what we need to be doing is showing up daily and consistently. That doesn't mean that we need to be showing up and connecting with 20 people a day. It just means that we need to be showing up consistently. And so if you're in that place where I was, that's okay. Just make a plan to get out of it and take some action. So I'd love to know who is currently reading a book that they would recommend, and then pop that in the chat. Ryan, you must have read my mind because you just typed a book in. I don't know, you totally read my mind. But I'm reading The 5-Second Rule by Mel Robbins. We had actually started it in book club, I don't know, 3 or so months ago. And I never finished it because I'm the queen of starting stuff and not finishing it. But I'm finishing it now, and I love it. And while people are popping those in the chat, for those that are on the call that maybe aren't going to Monations, she is going to be one of our speakers at Monations. And if you guys have not read her books or listened to her podcast or even heard her speak, she is phenomenal. We actually heard her at the Director Summit. I think it was in February, and she was so good. And I noticed today they still have some tickets for Monations. So if you don't have plans to go to Monations, get with your upline and find out about it, and then talk to your spouse or whoever you need to talk to, because there's still an opportunity for you guys to go, because she's amazing and we would love for you to go. And you guys, so there's several books that have been popped in there. If you're not doing personal development, I would strongly encourage you to find a book or a podcast and start immediately. I've always done it literally for the last 6+ years, but with the life stuff that I've had going on for the last few months, I stopped, and it really affected me in a negative way. And it just reinforced to me how important it is that we should be constantly feeding our minds with that positivity. And if you think you're too busy, do not let it overwhelm you. Just commit to 10 minutes. 10 minutes a day. If 10 minutes is too long, that's okay. Commit to 5 minutes. If you like audiobooks, download Audible, and listen while you commute to work or clean your house. I mean, you don't have to let it overwhelm you. You don't have to commit to reading, a book a month or whatever, just 5 minutes or 10 minutes a day, or even a podcast. So it really does make a difference when you're feeding your mind with that positivity. So does anybody have any questions or comments? Thank you guys for popping those in. Those are some really good ones. I love the energy bus. Oh my gosh, I haven't read that in ages. I actually read that when I was in corporate America. I forgot about that one. That's a really good one. No questions or comments? Thank you guys for hopping on. Energy vampires, yes.
Can you put a list of the books after, just like when you post this, or you put this on YouTube, right?
Yeah, I can. I don't know if let me see if I can save this
Before it disappears.
I think it saves it to, hang on.
To the meeting.
Stephanie, you'll get a copy of the chat with the Zoom recording. It's like whatever .txt, and it pulls up the text.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so yes, Taylor, I will look for that. And I'll post it. Yeah, because there's some good ones in there. So I'll post it. Okay, awesome. Thank you guys so much for hopping on. It was so good to see your beautiful faces, and we will see you next Monday. Good night.